Hey you guys, so welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about something I'm kind of freaking out about, which is the nursery. So on Monday I'll be officially 5 months pregnant, and I know that means I have, a little bit more than 4 months left, considering the way that they count it. And that would seem like a lot of time, right? But I work from home, so there's not really any such thing as maternity leave. So what I'll be doing is essentially like a more intensive version of what I do when we go on vacation, which is like when we went on our honeymoon, we went for 2 weeks. So like the month before we went on our honeymoon, I worked double. I just, had to get contracts finished and work in advance and all of that. So I'm kind of thinking that if I'm gonna try and take 6 weeks off when the baby comes, that I should probably spend, at least 2 months, a little bit more, before the baby comes working and trying to get those contracts done so that I can take off plenty of time. So I kind of feel like the nursery needs to be done sooner rather than later. And that's a little bit hard because we don't know the sex of the baby yet. And we won't find out for almost coming up on a month. Probably like 5 weeks now. So it's hard to really, we're not gonna do like all pink or all blue or anything like that, but there's gonna be a few different changes, and we're gonna, alter the paint color depending on if it's a boy or a girl. So we're kind of just at a standstill right now, so I'm trying to plan everything. So I wanted to talk about sort of like our idea behind the decor for the nursery and what we're really hoping for and then what we've gotten already. Well, before we even started thinking about trying for a baby, I had a nursery board on Pinterest, because I think that when you think about a baby, you think about the nursery, and like, that sort of encapsulates the change that your life makes when you become a mom. Is like you have this, we had a guest room and now it's a room for like a tiny person. So I always sort of like envisioned like the nursery and how I would do that, and like where the baby would sleep and all that sort of thing, is like a way to envision the future. So starting out, probably years ago, I started thinking about nurseries and that kind of stuff. And then when we really started trying, I started thinking more and more about it. And I had all sorts of different ideas. I really like a modern look. I don't want it to be too frilly or girly or too like super masculine with like sailboats and like animal heads on the wall. Like that's not really what we want. So they were sort of all similar in that respect, in that they were, fairly modern and fairly gender neutral. And then when we got pregnant, we were kind of going between the two, like that gender neutral, like modern kind of look, with like lots of pops of color, but otherwise it's, a lot of it is white and clean. And oh my God, I have to sneeze. Anyway, right, so when we got pregnant and we went between that first theme, which was super clean and modern and fun and bright and whatever, and then we had this idea to, I guess I saw like a picture in an email that I was sent from like Land of Nod or something, and it was like super dark blue walls and like bright geometrics, and I just like loved how like moody and like comfy, and just seemed like, like on a dark rainy day you just feel like cozy when you're inside. If you're outside you feel like not cozy at all, but if you're inside you feel like, like, I don't know, it just feels comforting. So we wanted to try and sort of like recreate that. And my husband and I have a sort of thing with, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, it's called like The Voyage to the Moon. It was considered the first movie. It was like all these guys get in a rocket and they launch themselves to the moon, and then there's these like frog people on the moon. Anyway, so my husband took me to see it. It was like a big surprise. They were showing it at a museum here, and then for Valentine's Day I actually painted the painting from that movie, which if you've seen it you'll know. Ooh. So for a while we were planning to base the nursery kind of off of that theme of the like vintage moon and stars, and you know, I think that I pinned probably 400 pillows that said "Love you to the moon and back," which were super cute, and I really love that thing. But our nursery is pretty small, and so I was thinking that if we painted it a dark blue, it would feel really kind of like claustrophobic and small. And for a while we were thinking that we could paint like 3/4 of the wall, so it would paint up until about like 2/3, 3/4, and that would help, but it still just seemed a little heavy. So in the end, I think we decided just to go with stuff we like, which is, you know, a lot of it is clean and white, and then lots of pops of colors, so that, you know, that clean white sort of approach we can use for future nurseries, and it's a little bit more versatile than going with a theme. So we today ordered our crib. We got a Baby Leto Hudson, and we got it in white. I had been looking at Baby Leto cribs since we got pregnant. I really like their philosophy behind their products, and I was hoping to order one, but I wasn't like a huge fan of all of them. And then I realized that when those Hudson cribs are put in a nursery, they look amazing. They just look unbelievable. So if you search on Pinterest for Baby Leto Hudson, you'll see what I'm talking about, and you will fall in love. So we ordered that, and then a couple days ago we ordered our glider recliner, and we decided to go with a recliner based off of some recommendations from friends. We actually found the recliner that we ordered at a local furniture store. It just happened to be like a living room piece, and a couple of my friends used it in their nursery and just absolutely loved it. So I went to check it out, and it is amazing. It swivels, it's a glider, it's wide enough so that you could cross your legs and like nurse, you know, while sitting on it. And the back cushion is like, it's high enough so you could rest your head on it, and the back cushion is like packed full of down, so it's super comfy, and it reclines, and you could just absolutely sleep in it, which is partly why we went that route. And the last thing that we already have is our dresser, which we found at Pottery Barn Outlet. I think it was originally like $800, and we found it on a sale for $400. So we were really happy with that. That was an awesome find. So instead of, you know, going the thematic route, what I did was put together, after searching through Pinterest for like hours upon hours, I found a list of like elements in the nursery that I want to include. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. So the first thing that we want to do is create a herringbone wall that we'll put the crib on, and here are a few examples of that. So it's super cute, right? I wouldn't say it's understated, but it's not, it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, and I really love it. I think it adds kind of like a fun quality to the room. I'm not looking forward to actually doing it because I feel like we're gonna use 20 rolls of painter's tape, and just doesn't sound like a ton of fun, but I think the end result will totally be worth it. So depending on if the baby is a boy or a girl, that is what will really change in the nursery. So if it's a girl, we're gonna do like a coral herringbone wall, and if it's a boy, we wanna kind of do like a dark bluish, kind of grayish slate kind of color. I'll know it when I see it, I guess. That would be the first thing. The second thing is that I really want to, you know, those tassel garlands that people use, you know, you can do all different colors, and it's made out of like tissue paper. I really want to hang one of those on the front of the crib. So that we'll do, and we're going to do that by hand, and the colors will probably change based off of the sex of the baby. You know, if it's a coral herringbone wall, the colors of the tassel garland will change, and if it's a boy, then same thing. And then for a mobile, we're gonna do another tassel thing. I saw this really cool thing on Etsy. It's like tassels on a piece of driftwood. I don't know where one finds driftwood when you're completely landlocked, but we're gonna try and make this ourselves, and I think it's kind of cute and understated. It's really more for us than for the baby. I mean, I don't know how many babies like stare at their mobiles. A lot of my friends have said that they would prefer to put a mobile over the diaper changing area because that's when babies are like actually laying on their backs, just like staring up at the sky. So that's gonna be our mobile, and that's kind of like the crib area. For a while I was thinking that we needed a lot of prints over the crib, because if you see most nurseries, they have prints over the crib, or you know, stuff on the wall over the crib. But then I realized if we're putting the crib on the herringbone wall, we don't really need a lot of extra. You know, I think it might make it seem really busy and cluttered. So I really want to include some of those freaking adorable like baby animal prints that they have from the animal print shop, and we'll find somewhere to put those. You know, we could get like 3 or 4 and put them over the reading area or something like that. So I really would like to have shelves on the wall for books. Like at IKEA they have those picture frame ledge things. I would like to like display some books like that. We need to get an accent table for the area by the glider, you know, and put like maybe a succulent there, something that's like live and green, and something, you know, just want to give it a pop of color, because our glider is gray, the crib is white, and the dresser is white, and we have this like huge rug that we're gonna put in the nursery, and that's white too. So we want to give it some color, and then in line with that, what I've been kind of thinking is that for the crib sheets and the blankets and the pillows and all of the little extras that we'll, you know, use to just kind of like brighten up the place, there's not really a theme to that. You know, there's so many cute things out there, especially on Etsy, and we're just kind of going with like bright color, so looking for more of like an eclectic feel. One of the last things that I think is really cute I'd like to include is baby clothes like hanging, you know, out in the open, like an especially cute outfit or something like that. So I think I want to include that. I don't really know where it would go, probably over the diaper changing area, but I don't know. So I'd really like to hear what you guys are doing for your nursery. Do you have a theme? Are you kind of going gender neutral? Like, what's your philosophy behind designing, and what have you been buying already? Like, what do you already have? Are you kind of freaking out? Do you feel overwhelmed like I do? Or are you more relaxed, more laid back? Like, not me. So, what has been your favorite nursery buy? Have you found something yet that you just love and you have to share? Please share it with me. I need it. Anyway, I just wanted to pop in and kind of talk about that and kind of like let it all out, because I'm kind of freaking out. There's a lot to buy, a lot to do, a lot of stuff to do. So have my stress. See you guys next time.